All right, Coach, whenever you're ready.
Thanks, Ryan. Obviously, really well pitched game. I mean, 20 strikeouts is hard to believe against a really good offensive team like that. And, Rhett Lauder, was sharp early and battled hard for us. A couple of things went against him. The hit batter that came around to score. And then obviously the solo home run and we're down 3-0 and we left the truckload on base early. I think we had they left 9 on base through the first 4 innings, had some situational at bats with 1 out and the bases loaded, a couple situational at bats that we didn't convert on. But we've talked about this before. I give credit to our guys. They don't panic. They just keep grinding. They keep pushing. We load the bases there in the 5th inning and, put together some really great at bats all right in a row. And obviously take the lead. Rhett gets us a big shutdown. Michael Massey was fantastic and Manassi was fantastic. Like those last 3 innings were lights out for both those 2 guys. So great win. Really excited for our club. Going into the next day with a chance to be 10 for 10 on series wins. So it's always good to win on Friday. It makes winning the series a lot easier. So really pleased with a good team win and Josh Hartle tomorrow.
We'll get one on Friday. It's a Thursday too.
Yes, it is.
The bullpen, I know it hasn't been bad every game for like 2 weeks or something, but it has been shaky in spots. So you see Massey come in and go 6 up, 6 down, and Manassi 3 up, 3 down, all strikeouts. Does that soothe any feelings you would have had, or
8 strikeouts? There was a pop up to short in there. Since you're going to correct me on the Thursday Friday situation. No. I mean, Moose talked about sending Massey back out there for the 9th, but it was a long inning. They made a trip. There's base runners, there's traffic, and Manassi's our guy, and he needs to be out there in that situation. I thought today was the best Manassi's thrown the ball all year. And so Massey's been throwing the ball really well. I mean, we haven't really had any shaky outings lately out of Massey, but we certainly have out of Manassi. Hasn't been as good the last couple of weeks as he's been early. And today I felt like we had him back. And the same thing with Tommy Hawk. I felt like Tommy Hawk's at bats got better and better as the game went on. So I was really happy with Tommy Hawk's day. Brock had a good day too, just willing to walk in those situations. And we had some really good walks. Kurtzy walks on a 3-2 breaking ball. Brock walks on a 3-2 breaking ball. So I was pleased to see us, laying off those pitches out of the zone.
The other first team's been so obvious about not letting Brock and Nick beat them. Yeah,
and again, that's fine by me. It gets Pierce Bennett up there in big situations. I'll take that all day. And it flips our lineup over earlier. You know what I mean? Again, anytime we can flip our lineup over and steal a couple of at-bats in there and get, if we can get 6 at-bats out of our first 5 guys, then I like our chances.
2,500 fans at the couch today. How did it feel to play in front of this kind of energy and kind of support tonight?
It was electric from the first pitch, man. And we felt like this might be the case coming in. There were a lot of pre-game sales. The numbers looked encouraging and everybody showed up and they were loud and they were into it till the very last pitch. So really great crowd today. And like I said, our series record is a little over 6,000 and we took a big chunk out of that today. So fired up to see who shows up tomorrow.
Sean Sullivan, is he still on track the way you talked about last weekend?
Yeah, he had 2 really good throwing sessions the last 2 days. We gave him today off because he threw back-to-back days. He'll lengthen out tomorrow. We'll get him back up on the mound, probably Monday. Get him back up on the mound and he'll throw out of the bullpen in the conference tournament, provided we don't have any setbacks, which we don't anticipate. So I don't think we'll go long with him in the conference tournament, but he should be full go by the time the regional hits.
Full go as in he'll start the regional game?
Probably. Yeah. Again, we'll see what the matchups are. And, again, how it is. It's one of those things. If you win the first 2 and you only need to win the third, I mean, I could see Keener starting and Sully coming in behind him or vice versa, just depending on the matchup we like.
How many teams can throw 3 guys in a row up there that throw 95 plus, but also have that kind of breaking ball?
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at the start of the 8th inning with Massey, the shutdown inning, he throws a 3-2 breaking ball right in there. Manassi does the same thing in the 9th. And that's why we're so dangerous. We can throw any pitch in any count. There's just really you can't really get comfortable in there as a hitter. Rhett through the 1-3-1 fastball. that went for the homer. I know Moose was kicking himself on that one, wishing he had called a slider, but you're right, Larry. I mean, when you have weapons like that, it just makes it really hard on the hitter.
We're a couple of weeks away from me asking you some more questions, but to get tested like you did, down 3-0 in the middle of the game. I know 52 games in, you probably don't need any more evidence, but that they're battling still to this point says what about this team?
Well, as we're older, we're experienced, we're battle tested, so again, like I said, there's no panic, which I love that about our team. We're down 3-0. Everybody's like, hey, keep putting people on base. We're going to be fine. You know what I mean? Let's get in their bullpen, so the chatter in the dugout in those situations is really good and really positive.
And it never enters under the equation that you guys are still just playing to enter next week with a rhythm. You're already locked up, what you already locked up.
Well, I can't say for sure we've locked up a national seed yet. I mean, we may have, but we may need one more win, certainly. I think a series win this weekend would lock up a national seed regardless of what we did in the conference tournament. So, what if we lose the last two and then we go two in the conference tournament? I don't want to put that in anybody else's hands. I want to make sure we lock up a national seed here this weekend.
To the defense again, there weren't a heck of a lot of plays to be made, but in a game with a decent amount of runs scored, everybody was in the right place all the time. It looked like.
Yeah, Bennett Lee made a big throw in that situation, to get us in the dugout. Rhett strikes the guy out on the next pitch, kept Rhett's pitch count down. I don't know that I have to look back on this, but I'm not sure Rhett's gone over 100 all year. But he's throwing for the second weekend in a row on short rest. So we didn't want him to go, too much today. So that was a big play to keep Rhett's pitch count down a little bit. Again, when you strike out 12 guys, you're going to have a higher pitch count. So, it was that was a big play in the game. I thought there was a big momentum play in the game. They had, if that guy's safe there, then, they got guy in scoring position with one out and, Rhett's got to get two more outs. And, if they punch one across there and it gets to be 4, it just gets to be a little more daunting than 3.
Does Rhett care at all about his standing as possible repeat ACC pitcher of the year?
No, he's just focused on his next outing. I know Rhett can't wait to pitch in the postseason. He's disappointed how he threw last year in the postseason. And I think he's looking forward to that day very, very much.
Do you care at all?
Yeah, I mean, of course I care. I mean, again, this guy's 12-0. I mean, if he doesn't win the ACC pitcher of the year, then we need to have a recount. We gotta check the ballot box.
It seems like the only other guy that could win it is the guy that starts tomorrow.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think he's in second place for sure. I agree with that, Connor. So Rhett, we're glad he's on our team. The same thing with about 8 of our other guys. We've got a good play.
Just
Anything on Zoom for Coach?
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. I know you mentioned a lot that there's no panic within the team, but was there, any specific kind of turn in mentality or things being said in the dugout that kind of led to that big 5th inning?
No, it was just stick with our approach. We were hitting some balls on the nose that were finding gloves. We hit some hard ground balls that turned into double plays. So it's just kind of stick with our approach. Coach Salento and Coach Wessinger do a really good job preparing these guys. So, the key is just not changing anything, not starting to press and then all of a sudden changing your approach and trying to do something else. Like just keep doing what you're doing and keep pressing. And, sure, we could have hit into 2 more double plays and certainly lost this game 3-0. That certainly could have happened. But, and that's baseball. We saw that at Pitt. But at the same time, over time, as long as we stay with our approach, we've got talented guys. We're gonna find ways to punch runs across.
And then do you think that shutdown inning in the 6th from Rhett, especially with the trouble that he kind of got into, was emblematic of the way that he just battled throughout this outing to get the win?
Sure, emblematic of the way he's battled his whole career. I mean, Rhett's gone out there and made big pitches for us, for 3 years now. So I would expect nothing less, out of Rhett Lauder to go out there and get us a shutdown inning. We talk a lot about shutdown innings. We talk a lot about outs after free 90s. We talk a lot about momentum. And, for the first 4.5 innings, Virginia Tech had all the momentum in their dugout. And then once we grabbed the momentum back, we didn't let go of it. We had the momentum in the second half of the game.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach Rhett has won a lot of different ways over his career, but what type of win, what does this do for him? Do you think the way he won today, 12 strikeouts, getting down by 3 runs, and then just being able to hold on and get the win for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it just further establishes him as a, you know, an All-American, you know, Golden Spikes candidate, you know, Hall of Famer. You know, he just keeps going out there and doing it week in, week out. He's so consistent. And again, you know, yeah, he's 11-0. But we're 12-0, 12-0. Sorry, he's 12-0, but we're 14-0 when he's pitched. The two other games, he got no decisions in. We won both those games. So, you know, when Rhett Lauder walks out of the dugout in the top of the first, so far we're 14-0. So, you know, that's a big time statement. There's not many of those guys out there.